Hello, this is Tina Bennett, and I'm here to present information security and risk assessment for Lesson Plan 4.2, Know It, Show It. I am a student at National American University, MT 6605. Outline and agenda. We're going to go over information security. What is information security? Analysis for the Home Depot Target data breach. What happened there? Risk analysis for a friend and their small business. It's our job to come up with a plan for them. Information security plan for the friend. And then customer self-protection of personal and financial information. What they can do to help themselves. Information and cybersecurity. To be honest, information does reside primarily on cyber equipment and hardware. Therefore, cybersecurity and information security kind of go hand in hand. You can't protect the information without protecting your infrastructure. And in order to do these, we've got many different methodologies, standards, processes, and procedures that are governed. There's a couple different governing bodies. The NIST is a huge one. And they basically come up with the standard operating procedures for protection of personal identifiable information, otherwise known as PII, and how to protect it on the infrastructures that it resides on. Creating a plan that considers flexibility, performance, cost, information security, management of the infrastructure. Of course, when you're coming up with a plan, like any project manager will tell you, that your plan must be flexible. We're humans, and there's going to be monkey wrenches thrown into something. So always create a plan that's dependable, but you can flex it either way. Of course, performance. Performance is a huge thing. We're instant gratification. So I want it now, please. Thank you. The cost, like any house in America, I'm pretty sure, cost is always a driving factor for anything. And I'm sure that's for businesses, big, small, everything, cost. And we want to consider the information security, obviously, because that will cost a company $1 bazillion if they're not protecting their information. It could lead in loss of business, loss of financial resources because of loss of business, and/or fines. And then finally, management of infrastructure. Don't build out something that you can't really manage. Sometimes you need the big, robust infrastructure, but you're a small company, so maybe you want to contract that out. That's a lot of big business and small business plan, and we're going to look at that today. And then conduct a risk analysis. Everybody should be doing a risk analysis at least annually, or anytime you make a change to your environment. You want to do an annual audit, you want to identify any risk, and then you want to mitigate it, of course. And of course, you want to keep up with the data. Keep up with the data, keep up with the date, update often. When you update, before you just throw it out there in your environment, of course, you want to test it. Test it in an environment first and then push it out to your environment, because as a business, you don't want to come in and all of a sudden you find out that, oh, your antivirus stopped all your customers from going onto your website and purchasing things. That would definitely be not good. Analysis for Home Depot and Target data breaches. What happened here? Well, in the wake of the Target data breach in 2013 holiday season, hackers stole about 40 million debit cards and credit cards. Home Depot was in the process of upgrading their cybersecurity measures, but was failed by a third-party vendor username and password. What I say by that is they used a server, I believe, or it was a gateway for the network, so Cisco routers. And the company failed to change the username and password from the standard, 123123 password, and hackers were able to get into their system. And once they got into the system, then they could create their user admin account and deploy to acquire elevated privileges and install a RAM scraping tool that enabled the data to be stolen when the customers swiped their credit cards. That affected 53 million customers. In addition to the payment data, these hackers were able to steal customers' email addresses. So, yeah, which obviously left them open for other like phishing attempts and stuff. So, what did Home Depot do to mitigate this situation? Home Depot come up with they didn't create, of course, but they did implement risk analysis for a friend in small business. I mean, that is why I'm recording this session. So let's go into this threats. How are we going to get our friend the best bang for her buck? So identifying these, we have our threats: environmental, earthquakes, floods, how it's going to be. So physical control. Create the operations policy with the acceptable users agreement signed that outlines what information in cybersecurity and proper use of the systems by any and all employees, of course. Educate your employees of threats like computer security, physical security, and ethical employee behavior. Off-site monitoring inside the business with video and voice, if possible, with an alarm system to alert security and owner of incidences. So, monitor it, have it off-site so your employee can't necessarily destroy it. Or maybe if somebody's breaking in, then the person who breaks in can't destroy your monitoring. Working with the IT solutions like Microsoft. In this case, I recommend we go with like a Microsoft Azure. Because they offered managed professional services. And as a small business, they just don't have the endless pockets to hire all these subject matter experts. They don't have deep pockets, but guess what? Microsoft does. So let's leverage that and their experience and their expertise and their knowledge of the environment. And let's, use them. It'll be a lot easier and it's a lot safer. They manage the assets. That means we don't have to hire people to manage that for us. Microsoft will. They have quick scalability. They're flexible. And I've used them before. They're super quick. So I would definitely recommend it. Reduces operational risks due to not having full-time staff specialized by each layer of the cyber information security. As I went over before, you have subject matter experts in not only security, but you have a very well-knowledged SA, and you have your database administrators. And, it's just all the professional services kind of bundled into one. You're not employing them, but Microsoft is, and it's saving you a ton of money. So now let's go to how do they secure your data? Of course, this is going to be, we need to know how it works. So this is a chart that I come up with. I found it. I can't really take credit for it, but it's perfect. It tells you how they are securing the network. This managed services provider. They use customer storage cloud servers, operating systems, networks, mobile services, virtual desktop implementations as a package, as a much affordable cost than owning and running your own in your home environment. These packages additionally come with administrators and industry experts that maintain the environment and implement the best practices of security. So